from casting to bite detection. A beginner's 3-day master plan to catch more fish and leave the skunk behind. Few things are more frustrating than picking up a rod for the first time only to end up with your line tangled in a tree, or worse, staring at a motionless float for hours, questioning your life choices. But fishing doesn't have to be a mystery, especially in early spring. When the wild waters start waking up, you can go from zero to confident in just 3 days if you understand the logic behind your moves. In this guide, we walk you step by step through the full journey, from choosing the right gear to mastering float signals and setting the hook. No vague jargon, just clear, beginner-friendly language. After all, fishing isn't sorcery, it's precision physics, down to the millimeter. Day 1. Casting is not whip cracking, and float tuning is not a riddle. One of the most common rookie mistakes is trying to mimic seasoned anglers who flick their rods like they recasting spells. The result? Your bait explodes mid-air like shrapnel. A proper cast should feel like you're painting a rainbow with your rod. Here's how to do it right. Hold the rod handle firmly in your dominant hand. Use your other hand to gently hold the line between the hook and sinker. Open your arms at about a 45-degree angle. With a controlled flick of the wrist, launch the bait in a smooth arc. To practice, place a small bucket or hoop about 2 meters in front of you. Your goal: 80% accuracy. When your bait consistently lands in the target area without breaking apart, you've cleared the first hurdle. Next comes float tuning, or what I like to call installing your underwater surveillance system. For springtime, panfish like crucian carp, use a 3.6-meter light-action rod with a 1.2 grams high-sensitivity float. Here's a universal spring setup. Start by trimming your split shot. Wait until the float shows for marks above water when suspended with bare hooks. Then, add a bean-sized clump of attractant bait to the hook. Slide the float downward until only 2 marks show. This results in a one rest state. The upper hook just brushes the bottom, while the lower one rests fully on it. This configuration is deadly effective during cold months when fish nibble gently. Common pitfall. Many beginners assume that showing more float above water equals more sensitivity. Wrong? If you're fishing at 5 when set at 4, your lines and the fish has to drag the weight before the float reacts, often costing you the bite. Day 2. Reading floats isn't watching stocks, and chumming isn't feeding ducks. Interpreting float signals is like learning a new language, one spoken in ripples. Here are the 4 basic float signals. Micro twitches, usually just line bumps or fish brushing past. Gentle nods, fish testing the bait. Clean dips, fish has taken the bait. Full submerge or lift, time to strike. In spring, fish tend to nibble. That barely perceptible half-mark drop is often your only window. When it comes, lift your rod tip at a 30-degree upward angle, quick, snappy, like a flick knot, a full-bodied yank. Let's talk chumming, or baiting your spot. This isn't about throwing handfuls of feed and hoping for the best. It's a timed, tactical process. Before you start fishing, mix 50 grams of ground bait with 20% light bran for added dispersal. Form it into 3 ping-pong-sized balls and place them in a triangle pattern at your fishing area. After every 2 catches, top up with a smaller portion using a bait spoon, not your hands. Wild fish are wary of sudden surface splashes. Bonus tip: avoid most beginners fail because they constantly recast the ideal rhythm. Cast, wait 3 minutes, then gently twitch your rod tip. This creates a subtle wounded bait motion, like a struggling bug on the lake bed, irresistible to curious carp or pet. Day 3. Hooking isn't tug-of-war. When a fish finally bites, your response time and technique make or break the catch. Don't yank the rod like you're hauling rope. When you sense the float dip and feel that tug, lift the rod tip quickly and upward at a 45-degree angle using your forearm only, not your whole arm. This drives the hook into the fish's lip, like a needle knot, like a tear. Most small fish have paper-thin mouths. Jerking too hard will rip the hook right through, leaving you with nothing but a mocking scale on the hook. Once hooked, let the rod do the work. If the fish pulls hard, don't resist. Tilt the rod sideways, left or right, to absorb the shock using the rod's curve. When tension eases, guide the rod back upright and reel in slowly. Final thoughts. Fishing is a dialogue with water, from the faintest twitch at the tip of your rod to the cloudy swirl of your bait dispersing in water. Every moment on the bank is a conversation with the environment. These 3 days of focused learning, 1T, turn you into a fishing legend overnight, but they give you something just as important. Confidence. Confidence to know when fish are near. Confidence not to panic when they're not. Remember, getting skunked isn't shameful. Repeating the same mistakes without learning. That is, after all, if you can't understand your float, how can you expect to read a fish's lips? About me, I'm an avid angler and content creator who loves sharing practical fishing tips with fellow enthusiasts. Follow me for more tutorials, tackle reviews, and wild fishing adventures. Like, save, and subscribe so you won't miss the next cast.